In the top stories, government and opposition MPs sworn in for new parliamentary term. Dominican Republic to receive 85,000 vaccines against cholera, and France and Spain sign a friendship treaty as their leaders meet in Barcelona. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Friday, the 20th of January, 2023. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, on Thursday, government and opposition members were sworn in as members of the Nevis Island Assembly during the opening session of the new parliamentary term of the Honorable House. Thursday's session was the first convening of the Assembly since the Nevis Island elections, which were held on December 12, and began with the election of a new president in her honor, Michelle J.S. Slack. The Honorable Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis, took the oath as Parliamentary Representative for St. John. The Honorable Eric Evelyn, Deputy Premier, took the oath as Parliamentary Representative for St. George. The Honorable Spencer Brand swore an oath as Parliamentary Representative for St. Paul. Senator the Honorable Troy Liburd affirmed the oath as a nominated MP, and Senator the Honorable M. Janelle Nisbet swore an oath as a nominated MP. On the opposition benches, the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge took the oath as Parliamentary Representative for St. James, and the Honorable Cleone Stapleton Simmons was sworn in as Parliamentary Representative for St. Thomas. Her Honor, Mrs. Hailita Liburd, delivered the 2023 throne speech. Present at the occasion were the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, several other members of the Federal Cabinet, members of the diplomatic and business community, officials from ministries within the NIA, heads of various statutory agencies, as well as citizens and residents. Also on Thursday, good governance draft legislation will make its debut next month when Parliament convenes. Attorney General the Honorable Garth Wilkins said that the Anti-Corruption Bill, Freedom of Information Amendment Bill, Integrity in Public Life Amendment Bill, and the Official Gazette Bill will be read in the Federal Parliament for the first time on February 8. At the Prime Minister's conference with Cabinet Ministers on Wednesday, the Attorney General explained that the four pieces of legislation are to create good governance infrastructure that controls the operations of government. The inclusion of the Official Gazette Bill is a relatively new development and came about from discussions at the Commonwealth Ministers' meeting in Mauritius to allow citizens full access to laws of the country. He said that since they created the Official Gazette Act, which allows all laws to be published online, not just showing up at the government printery, they have seen the impact that has had in educating the people about the laws of the country. The Attorney General indicated that the Attorney General's Chambers awaits feedback on the anti-corruption bill circulated in November of 2022 from the Bar Association, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and the Christian Council. He said that the government will proceed whether or not feedback is received, as the good governance legislation is, quote, a promise made and it will be a promise that is kept, end quote. St. Kitts and Nevis is preparing for the 28th session of the Conference of Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP28, which will be held from November 30 to December 12 in the United Arab Emirates. This was according to the Minister of Environment and Climate Action, the Honorable Dr. Joelle Clark, during the Prime Minister's press conference on Wednesday at the National Emergency Management Agency, or NEMA. She said, quote, "We're going to COP28 and we have made a decision to expand our delegation. The Department of Environment has been working very closely with the New York mission in terms of selecting persons. We have selected another young person who would be part of our OASIS delegation, so they have 1 full year of training and development to lend to the loss and damage conversation," end quote. She also said that the country has appointed persons to sit on the Transitional Committee of the Loss and Damage Fund, along with Barbados and Suriname. Suriname. The Loss and Damage Fund aims to provide financial assistance to nations most vulnerable and impacted by the effects of climate change. Dr. Clark said St. Kitts and Nevis continues to work locally as a mandate from COP27 to, quote, have a mini COP so that more young persons could join the needed conversation on loss and damage, end quote. She also said that there is a need for people to be educated on environmental and climate matters. Following the Prime Minister's state visit to Taiwan and realizing that environmental matters started being discussed with preschoolers, a conversation is now being had with the Ministry of Education and the Department of Gender Affairs to get students involved. Global countries around the world are aiming to maintain an average global temperature increase of 1.5 degrees as stipulated by the Paris Agreement and reduce greenhouse gas